So now the video that follows this I did a few days ago. So these are just some additional thoughts that I had. And one thing is when you're practicing a tune like this, and by the way, the track and the chart will be in the description for free. So if you want to play along with the track at that crazy tempo, be my guest. But we don't have to sound like McCoy Tyner, and I certainly can't. But it's cool to play an F-sharp blues with some cool changes. So there are 12 languages in music. C, C sharp, D, E flat. Don't ignore the pleasure and competency that comes from playing in unfamiliar keys. So when we're in F sharp here, this is a very easy key to play outside kind of changes, because if you just move to the white keys, you can put a lot of outside stuff in it and just come back to a chord that maybe you know well by now, which is F sharp 13. But don't ignore playing inside stuff. You've got to know the blues scale. All right, or this kind of all right, that's kind of a mixture of two blues scales, but I don't even want to go there. If you're learning the blues in F sharp, hopefully you understand the blues in F. Okay, so some things you have to know are the blues scales and how they interact. And those are like two different blues scales, and then they kind of combine to form something like... So I'm kind of combining little elements of both of those blues scales, but that's a whole other subject. What we want to make sure we know is those blues scales, the pentatonic scale for this key, and also when we get to the B seventh sus, we want to note the Dorian mode, which is like an E major scale, basically. Some other scales would be useful as well. Now, McCoy has a more advanced and more abstract way of thinking through these changes. So this is kind of just like a foundation. Where he goes is a lot different, really, than what we're doing. But we've got, like I say, we've got a blues in F sharp with some cool changes, and that's how we're going to treat it. Now, here at the end, the chords we're using are E minor to A7, D minor to G7, and then just moving down a half step to our home key. Now, what is that? It's actually a tritone substitution of a 3-6-2-5-1. All right, you should know what a 3-6-2-5-1 is. In F sharp, it's going to be a 3-6-2-5-1. And if you just do a tritone on each one away, just move the whole thing a tritone. All right, except for the last note. So it's a substitute 3-6-2-5-1. And that's why it flows so nicely. So, and you don't have to play the 3 and the 6. You can just do the 3, and you can do this very abstractly. You can do the 3 like that. You can do the 6 like this. And there's other ways. Then the 2 chord, that's the D minor. You can move that around. And then the G. And it will sound very hip. So if you're, getting through that 3-6-2-5-1 is not all that hard. Think about like the Dorian mode. Is that the Dorian mode? No. The Dorian mode of E minor, which is a D major scale. So just got these two sharps. All right. But like the rest of the time, it can all be the white keys because you're going D minor to G. So it's just kind of like a... All right, so thinking about the D major scale here, I could go to that too, and then the white key scale for the D minor G, and then ending back on something, hopefully, in the key of F sharp. So you can move it around. Moving the left hand around. That might work. All right, those are just some thoughts. Now, enjoy the rest of the show. everybody. Tony Winston here, Jazz Piano College. Having fun with a really great song. It's a blues in the key of F sharp, and it's called Mr. Day, written by John Coltrane. I have not listened to his version, but the viewer asked me to review the version by McCoy Tyner, live at the Village Vanguard. And I've got 2 charts, and they're free. They're down in the description. And there's also links to PayPal and Venmo if you want to support the channel with a couple bucks. Or you can sign up on Patreon and get a little bit of extra content. But most of what I do here is absolutely free. These charts are free. The other one's in E flat, but the one I'm going to work from is this one, which is in the key of F sharp. And there are a few, I won't say there are mistakes on the chart, but this is not exactly the way McCoy plays it, so we'll go over that. The main idea is this. Okay? Now, the timing here doesn't seem right either. It should be, what they've got is 1, 2, 3, 4, and. Maybe John Coltrane plays it that way, but with McCoy, it's kind of like 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. So it's a da ba 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 ba. Okay, that's approximate. And then does this little riff. And here, I believe the chords are, instead of B and A, which makes sense. Usually, the chords here in a regular blues would be the 5 chord and the 4 chord. In this case, it's the 4 chord and the 3 chord. But what McCoy does is the 3 chord. I guess you would call that the flat 3, right? That's 3, so that's flat 3, and then the flat 2 going here. And I'm pretty sure that's what he's doing. At one point, he goes like that, and that's like a 2-5, 2-5, 1, and this is a 2-5-1 because that's the 5 chord, like right. It's a substitute for this 5 chord, right? And before 5 comes a 2, right? A 2 and a 5. So if this is our substitute chord, the 2 would be this. Or a little hipper sounding. Okay. And we'll go over, some of the improv ideas on that. So, to play this A chord, it says B9, but it's really an A, and it's suspended too. You hear him do this, and then he suspends the G as well. Resolves it, and then back to this. Okay, so if you're just soloing and you want some left-hand stuff to play there, I hear him do this sometimes. No, do I hear him do that? No, that's on the B. In the second line, it is a B. And a lot of times it's suspended like that, right? Here's a B. Right? Suspend it this way. That's the 3rd, moving up to the 4th. So. All right. Now, one really cool thing about playing in F sharp, it's an easy key to go outside on. If you don't know what I mean, like say you're in D minor, you're doing like So What or something, and you're playing a solo. I could do a better line than that, hopefully. All right, let's use that one. So, all these keys are okay, right? But these are outside, right? Because they don't fit the chord. So we call that outside playing. So it's easy to do in D minor because you just head for the black keys and then bring it back into some white keys, and you've got what's called an outside line. When you're in F sharp, these are the inside notes, and most of the white keys are outside. Some of them are going to fit okay, like B is okay, E is okay, but if you hit some of the other ones, you'll see And McCoy usually, supports those with some outside chords as well, involving a lot of white keys. Right. So, basic song. We talk about the rhythm. It's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and then. All right, and make it suspended. And I never really hear him play this line. Maybe he does. But once again, I think the chords are A suspended and then G suspended, which that melody doesn't really fit there. That's probably why he doesn't play it. Okay, let's see if we can pick out any other stuff going on. A lot of back and forth going on with the hands. It's a really rich sound using the pedal and everything. Playing like a 13 chord there. Now, in a lot of blues, you're on a major like this. When you go to the 4 chord, you just change that to a minor. So we can do that here too. We're on the F sharp. When we get to the B chord, and I'm using kind of a suspended B chord there. And it's just fourths, and using the F sharp minor pentatonic, which you can think of as the A major pentatonic. All right, 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6. And you can use the F sharp pentatonic there, which is all black keys. Well, a lot of times he adds the 7th, so it's almost a Mixolydian mode. Just leaving out the 4th, basically. All right, let's see what else. What was that? That was good. Right here. It's something like that, because there's the A suspended, and then the G suspended. Something like that. Something like that. So there, he just basically takes the same chord. F sharp, 13, like that. See the shape? E, G sharp, A sharp, D sharp. Move that up 4 notes exactly. A, C sharp, D sharp, G sharp. And that'll be your B chord. Now, a lot of times he's doing a suspended thing or something, but right here it sounds like that to me. You can hear those bass notes, A and G, not B and A like the chart says. In fact, one time he goes like this. Right? And even when you're on the F sharp chord, you don't have to use the major pentatonic. You can stay on that A pentatonic. I sound just like McCoy, don't I? Gets back to our main theme. And there's a lot of like back and forth, like. So you can use like an A major seventh as your B chord. That's in the second line, right? Like that, and then just resolve it to the B chord we talked about before. Yeah, so A, think about the two that would precede the A, like an E minor. Right? E minor, 7, 9, 11. You see, there he's going out. He does. I heard this. And then, and you know, I mean, in a typical blues, you might go up to that chord anyway, up to the G. But it sounds out. It sounds out. Out is a good thing. I think he's using a little whole tone scale there. Not sure, but it sounds like that. Okay, I don't know what the hell he's doing there. See, so he can get weird for a minute, but then he always brings it back. All right, you can't leave the listeners strung out there. You gotta bring them back into the fold. Playing the head again. He kind of. It's hard to tell what he's doing there, but it's based on the chords that we've been talking about. Okay, I know it goes into a bass solo after that, and I don't know if there's much of an ending. Let's see. All right. Not really a planned out ending or anything. It's just something like. All right. Great song by John Coltrane, Mr. Day. Hope you liked it. See you again soon. Thank you for all your support. Take care, everyone.